Tēnā koutou katoa. Tēnā koutou katoa i mui tō tātou tīmatahana, tō tātou hui me karakia tātou. E arara, e arara, e arara e te kōrero, e arara e te wānana, e arara e te whakaaro nui, e arara e te nākau whakaiti, tūturu o whiti whakamaua kia tīnā, haumi i e tāi ki. Tēnā koutou katoa wā rauhihi mai ki tēnei whihuina i purangi. E tikāna kia mihia o tātou tinu mate, e takoto mai rā i o tātou marae maha, o te ao haere, haere, e moi, oki oki koutou. Ka hoki mai kia tātou e tau nei i te ao marama, te ao huri nei, e mahi nei nā mahi maha hei oranga mō tātou katoa, e taia te ana whakamua. Tēnā koutou katoa. Ko wai au, ko hani ko te kurapa tōku ingoa, ko tūhoi te iwi, ko au te kai whakamā, te kai whakahaere matua o te kaupapa o Toi Aotearoa.
Tēnā koutou. Heiri tēnei no mātātua, no te tai rāwhiti, no muri whenua anō hoki. Ko kere ama te ua tēnei mihi atu nei, ko au te tahi o ngā kaimahi kei Toi Aotearoa. Tēnei ka mihi, tēnei ka mihi, tēnei ka mihi.
Kia ora, he mihi mahana kia koutou, kia tātou katoa, ko Justine Pepene Hohaia tēnei, ko Ngāpuhi Nui tōne te iwi, ko hau tētahi anō o ngā kaimahi o Toi Aotearoa, o te tīma rautaki Māori me ngā rangapū. Te rara koutou.
Thank you all for joining us, e hika mā. E mihi ana kia koutou, and I want to say we do appreciate your patience and continued engagement, especially given the short notice of this consultation, wihuina, and also the change of the times. Previously, the webinar was on Tuesday, the 29th of July. Engari, kei te aroha mai rā kia tātou e hika mā. So in this webinar, Kiriama Justine and I will take you through the draft Toi Ora strategy for 2025 to 2030. We'll share how it's evolved and most importantly, e karema, how you can help shape its final form. This presentation will take you through the context of our new Toi Ora strategy, the proposed moimoia vision for Toi Ora, our proposed goals and priorities to help us reach that vision. This webinar is being recorded and will be available after the session on the Creative New Zealand website. Please feel free to ask any pātai you might have as we go through the overview. You can do this by using the Q&A function on the menu bar at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Please use the raised hand icon if you want to ask pātai in New Zealand Sign Language. We will turn on your camera so that our New Zealand Sign Language interpreters can see you. We, as in Justine and Kirima and I, will answer your pātai as best as we can. Our hoa mahi Paula Ka and Piki Diamond will be answering questions directly in the Q&A function. Any questions we don't have time to answer or respond to in the session, we will provide that in writing on our website and on our Toi Ora web page.
Whānau, as you hear more about Toi Ora and work your way through the survey, it'd be great to get your whakaaro on the proposed moimoia, goals and priorities in the draft strategy. From your perspective, does the proposed moimoia reflect what's important for ngā toi Māori? Let us know your whakaaro about the proposed goals in Toi Ora for the next 5 years and what you think about the proposed priorities that sit under each goal? Also, does the draft strategy as a whole reflect what's important for ngā Toi Māori? We value your perspectives, whānau, so please do share any other whakaaro or feedback with us.
Creative New Zealand Toi Aotearoa is the National Arts Development Agency of Aotearoa, New Zealand. Our purpose is set out in the Arts Council of New Zealand Toi Aotearoa Act 2014. Our work is guided by Te Kaupapa o Toi Aotearoa principles of whakamanai te tiriti, manaaki te tangata, and tuku rauem. The draft Toi Ora strategy 2025 to 2030 builds on the mahi progress under Creative New Zealand's first national strategy for Māori arts, Te Hā o Ngā Toi, Māori Arts Strategy 2019 to 2024. The draft Toi Ora strategy has been guided by and takes its name from the 2023 Toi Ora Wānanga, a national gathering of ringatoi and mātangatoi that looked at how we might bolster and sustain ngā toi Māori culture and creativity so they can continue to be a source of connection, identity, and pride for our whenua. At that wānanga, three important themes emerged that have informed our draft strategy. The themes were whenua ora, environmental sustainability, and access to natural resources for toi. Tangata ora, the well-being and sustainability of artists and arts workers' careers, fair remuneration, and opportunities for intergenerational succession. Thirdly, Toi Ora, the vitality of ngā toi Māori across all art forms.
On this slide, we've included an image showing an overview of our draft Toi Ora strategy that sets out our moemoeā, our 5 goals, and our priorities for the next 5 years to help us achieve those goals. The draft Toi Ora strategy builds on a key goal in Tū Mai Rā Toi Aotearoa, Creative New Zealand's draft long-term strategy to 2040, which you can see at the top of this image. We, as Creative New Zealand, consulted on the draft of the strategy in early 2025, so earlier this year, and we expect to release the final strategy later this year, once it has been approved by the Arts Council.
Moemoeā vision. To guide our work, we are proposing a moemoeā or vision for our Toi Ora strategy. At a high level, it's what we imagine for ngā toi Māori by 2030. Our suggested moemoeā is ngā toi Māori and inga toi Māori are visible everywhere and highly valued as our distinct identity of Aotearoa, which is admired globally. This vision sees a future where ngā toi Māori flourishes across Aotearoa and internationally. Toi Māori is visible, valued, recognised and sustained. Te taiao, te tangata, me ngā toi Māori are interconnected in practice. This moemoeā develops the moemoeā of our previous ngā toi Māori strategy, Te Hā o Ngā Toi, with the inclusion of ringa toi Māori. This is to recognise and align with Creative New Zealand's new approach to arts development and funding, and that we will be investing in you as a practitioner. Please add any questions that you might have to this proposal and the vision into the Q&A function on the menu bar at the bottom of the screen.
Along with the moemoeā, we're proposing 5 new medium-term goals to help guide us over the next 5 years. The next few slides provide more detail on each goal with the priorities underneath. In shaping the strategy, we consider the changes we are making, both in terms of what we do as the Arts Development Agency of Aotearoa and how we ensure ringatoi arts organisations and hapori are at the heart of our mahi. The first 3 goals, toi taiao, toi tangata, and Toi Ki Te Ao is focused on mahi that is led by, for and with the Ngātoi Māori sector. The last two goals, Toi Tuia and Toi Tuku, focus on the mahi that we as Creative New Zealand will do.
As for the priorities, this has been a balancing act. The priorities relate to our goals in Moi Moia, while being practical in our capacity to deliver over the strategy's 5-year term. To identify draft priorities, we looked at data from various sources. These have included our own research, like New Zealanders in the Arts, Ko Aotearoa me ona toi, Profile of Creative Professionals, and Audience Atlas Aotearoa. We've also looked into research by the Toi Mai Workforce Development Council, the Manatū Taonga Ministry of Culture and Heritage data on the sector, the Toi Ora 2023 report, and a full review of the Te Hao Ngātoi strategy. We then had wānanga internally with our kaimahi Māori, listening to what they've been hearing more broadly from you and through the applications and delivery of projects. We've also been thinking about gaps, needs, and opportunities that are out there. We'll go through some of the goals that are related to the priorities. These first 3 goals are focused on by Ngātoi Māori sector, for the Ngātoi Māori sector, and with the Ngātoi Māori sector. Toi Taio, Whaki Taio. Whaki Taio within Ngātoi Māori practices is activated to protect and maintain mātauranga and respond to climate change. The Toi Ora 2023 report identified that Whenua Ora recognises the critical and symbiotic relationship that Ringa Toi Māori have with the taiao. This includes understanding the health and sustainability of the taiao, and that it has a direct effect on the health and sustainability of Ngā Toi Māori. This goal and its priorities focus on Ringa Toi and our community's relationship with the taiao. It supports the rejuvenation and access of natural resources, and it supports communities to implement climate mitigation and adaptation practices. Toi tangata. Ringa Toi Māori, individually and collective relationships are strengthened and supported by a strong Ngā Toi Māori community and infrastructure. It focuses on makers and those within our toi ecosystem and infrastructure that support the sustainability of Ngā Toi Māori. It focuses on the holders of art form mātauranga who bring to life our unique cultural identity. It focuses on building on the momentum of the 2023 Toi Ora wānanga while devolving decision-making back out into the community.
Now we're going to kororo about a goal that's all about global whanaungatanga, Toi Ki Te Ao. This goal is focused on supporting Ringa Toi Māori to build and experience strong, meaningful relationships with Indigenous communities around the world. We're especially focused on strengthening ties in regions like Te Moana Nui Akiwa, the wider Pacific, as well as Asia, Canada, Norway, and South America. This goal is about creating genuine two-way opportunities where Ringa Toi Māori can share, learn, and grow alongside other Indigenous artists. So, how do we aim to bring this goal to life? Firstly, by building stronger relationships with Indigenous art communities around the world, including through collaboration on the delivery of the 10-year Pacific Regional Culture Strategy 2022 to 2032. And secondly, by opening doors so our Ringa Toi can access international markets, platforms and audiences. We want to make sure Ringa Toi Māori are seen, celebrated and supported on the global stage. Next up, we'll look at goals that are led by Toi Aotearoa, with and for the Ngā Toi Māori sector. Toi Tuia is about connection. This goal focuses on building strong partnerships with mana whenua, marae, hapu, iwi, government, creative agencies and the private sector. We want to see real investment flowing into Ngā Toi Māori from both public and private sources, because Ngā Toi Māori here at home and around the world are a vital part of our cultural identity. We aim to bring this goal to life by sharing research, storytelling and advocacy that encourage more people to engage with and value Ngā Toi Māori. By looking at the overall health of the Ngā Toi Māori sector and acting on what we learn. By working with other agencies to raise the profile of Ngā Toi Māori. By using our role as an arts development agency to create new opportunities and partnerships. And through supporting long-term, meaningful relationships that help Ringatoi Māori thrive.
Toi tuku. Creative New Zealand's Te Kaupapa Toi Aotearoa's organisational cultural program will guide the way that we work. This goal and priorities are about us being transparent and accountable to you. We have been working for several years, changing the way how we serve you and how us as a Crown agency can have better relationships with our Ngā Toi Māori communities that are Te Tiriti o Waitangi implementing. You will see that this is included in the decentralising and devolving of funding and services out to you.
We'll stop sharing our screen now so we can see what the pātai o whakaaro that have come in. It'll be great to get your feedback or hear any pātai questions you might have about, and I want to emphasise this, our proposed moimoia vision and the proposed 5 goals and the priorities in our strategy for the next 5 years. Just a note on timing before we stop sharing, you can have your say on our draft strategy until 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, the 10th of August 2025. The draft strategy and discussion papers are on our website at www.creativenz.govt.nz/Toi Ora. You can provide your questions via our online feedback form or by emailing us at toiora@creativenz.govt.nz. More information is available on our website listed here. Nā reira, e hoa mā, let's see what pātai are coming through. And remembering, as I said earlier in this webinar, we are only here to respond to the pātai that are specific on the draft Toi Ora strategy, and that is our moimoia, the goals, and their priorities. So we have a question here, and the question is, when do you think the strategy will have practical effects? The dates are stated as 2025, 2030. However, we are halfway through 2025 now, probably 2026. Oh. And I believe in the chat, that's in the chat. There's another, Paula's answering those questions in the chat. Or I can just say late, the time frame is late 2025 to early 2026. Another pātai here. What does devolving funding decisions mean? Is there a plan for this now? How does this relate to the proposal to do the same in the CNZ overarching strategy? Yes. Oh, Shall I throw this over? I'm just trying to share the. Can I throw that over to you, Te Reo?
Yeah, I think that in terms of devolving, that will definitely be part of the implementation plan moving forward. And I think for today, we're only really focusing on the vision, the goals, and its priorities. But I'm definitely open, and that's what this consultation is as well, is to get your ideas of what you might think that looks like for you as a practitioner, or what you might think might be the best for you and your community that you represent as well.
In the past, CNZ, another part-time, in the past, CNZ have determined critically endangered art forms that will be funded. Is that the case here, or do we have the right to determine this ourselves? So I just give you a little bit of whakapapa in terms of that. That came out of the 2009 survey that we did, and in it were actually 10 customary art forms that at that particular time people, the people who were sitting around the table highlighted. And so there are 3 of those art forms that were carried on through to the Te Haona Toi strategy, and that was the waka kaupapa. So this involves not only navigators, but also our waka builders. So there was that, and also home manu, which is around Māori instruments, was another one. And so those particular, and there's others as well. We know that are all part of this as we move forward. Yes, they are. Another one, will Creative New Zealand provide resources for us to do our own research into health of Ngā Toi Māori in our own rohe? I'm going to pass this over to Justine.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really excellent partai, but it's possibly one that we can't answer right at this moment. But when you think about the mahi that you do, is there anything to stop you from doing that mahi? Absolutely not. But as I say, it's probably not something that we can answer right now.
From Marlon Elkington. Kia ora, apologies, I missed the part of the presentation. Is there an emergency funding avenue for last minute art projects? That's a really good partai, and currently it's going to be too difficult to be able to be able to plan for long-term events, long-term programs of activity, and so this is where our focus is really going into creating long-term relationships and sustainable career options and sustainable funding, I guess, as well. You are able to come into our contestable funding options, the Creative Fellowship Fund, the Creative Impact Fund, but it does mean that you do have to have a bit of planning. You need to plan at least 4 months ahead. Otherwise, the best option for you, I think, would be your local government. CCS, they provide quick results if you're looking at getting a quick answer from a funder. They do have money available, but only for smaller amounts, and the wait time is a lot shorter than what you might expect here at Creative New Zealand within our contestable funding. So that's to answer your question, that's a no at this stage. We really focus on the long-term relationships and sustainability planning out into the future.
There's another part I hear about how we envisage identifying and working with Māori arts organisations. And for the most part, you actually do that yourselves. You identify as being a Māori organisation. What makes you a Māori organisation? I mean, we could have this possibly a big discussion. What makes us Māori? So that identification is hugely up to you. There are things that we look for as well, but yeah. Then the second part to that question: will there be a stronger regional presence? Again, when we're looking at the devolving of funding and those mechanisms, there's a potential there, right? So again, these are details that are still to be worked out. What does that look like? How do we do that in practice? Kia ora.
Would you see the strategy influencing CCS decision making? I'd say so, absolutely. But it also, I think we need to really think about what CCS looks like in each region, and are there different mechanisms that you might be able to suggest? We know that for, especially in particular to Ngā Toi Māori and decision making in some areas, they don't have Māori at that desk. And so how can we ensure that our voices are going to be heard? And we need to talk to the community, the sector, iwi hapu mara, what that might look like and what the best avenue might look like moving forward. So if you have any suggestions or any feedback or any comments so far, drop them in the chat. They don't have to be questions. They could be offers. They could be comments around the proposal so far. Saw that.
Yeah, there's another part I hear about how will CNZ support Ringatohi directly to achieve the Toi ki te ao goal. We have within CNZ already an international team. Within that, we have an Indigenous exchange lead. So we've got people there. We've got our people there. Our role will be to look for those opportunities and look for those partnerships and those collaborations, as well as you as well, right? So, and potentially this is a whole another us venturing into a bigger field, if you like. There's more mahi to do there. We know that, especially when we look at the Indigenous exchange opportunities, they're there. Yeah.
We know that this is important because when we travel overseas, it's te ao Māori that the world wants to see. So there's been a lot of conversations already, over the last 10 years about how we sustain that. And as Justine said, there is Indigenous initiatives that have been in the plan for many years, and it's about to come to fruition this year, maybe next year. So those when we talk about Toi ki te ao, yeah, there's lots of opportunities there.
Yeah. Kia ora, Charles. Aroha mai. We don't have the chat function available for you at the moment, but if you do have any other comments or feedback, just chuck them into the Q&A. It serves as the same purpose as the chat function. And just hei taupiri atu ki ngā kōrero ko whakatokatoria e hāniko. We are looking at partnership. We are looking internationally on other ways to be better for our sector. We know that as a Crown agency, we can use our name, use our position to be able to influence other funders, both here, nationally and internationally. So we're really, really interested on what that might look like in the philanthropy space, what partnering with iwi hapu marae might look like, private sector might look like, and international funders as well. Ngā Toi Māori, you're right, does really, really well internationally, but we can do better, and I think Creative New Zealand have a bigger role that we can play there as well. Thinking around exchanges and support that happen both ways. Can see that facilitation movement of time will be important. This program likely integrate CNZ residencies, fellowship programs, funding will it stand alone? Very good question, Kitty. Nice to see you online as well. And I can see one of my colleagues attempting to answer that as well. Currently, we do have programs also with our fellowship and residencies program that we support through our contestable funding, where we can support residencies. It's a little bit different to how we used to do it in the past, because it would usually be the artist or the arts organisation that would apply for funding, so that they were able to travel and host or partner with others to create these residencies. So now the change that we've made is that if you, as an organisation, you don't have to be here in New Zealand, you don't even have to be an arts organisation, you think that you have an opportunity that can support Ngā Toi Māori or all of the arts infrastructure, then you can apply to Creative New Zealand for funding to support a residency. So if you were, say, Doc, let's say, or Zealandia here in Wellington, and you have a space there, you think it would be great for some of our ringa Toi Māori to be working in the taiao with some of our native birds, and you have a space there, you can support a collaborative residency with our sector, then you can apply for funding to stand that residency up. And we'll take care of things like artist wages and costs, maybe ACOM and travel, but you need to cover the other sides. So it's a really true partnership in that respect. And that doesn't just have to be here in Aotearoa. For Nashville, I've had conversations with some weavers who really would really benefit from working with other Pacific weavers. And so that could look like a Pacific residency in Rarotonga or Hawaii. But it will be up to those places to make those applications with your support, so that the costs are shared, and so that we can really move beyond Creative New Zealand being the main funder for a lot of these programs and supporting others to jump on board and support Ngā Toi Māori across all of Aotearoa. So not just Māori, and not just Ngā Toi Māori organisations.
There's another question, sorry, Kirema, and this is probably in your lane as well, which refers to no emergency funding currently in place.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any thinking around developing a rapid response, like I guess the quick response, pūtea for kaupapa Māori artists facing unexpected opportunities or crisis?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Currently, it's no. But that's the second time that question's been asked, and that's what this consultation's about. And thank you for posing that question, because I do get asked it quite a lot. And sometimes you have to be reactive to opportunities that are really beneficial for the practice or for the artist or for those communities, and you can't wait for a December notification, right? You sort of need a quicker answer. So part of what we are trying to do is we're trying to work with other funders, government, crown agencies, iwi, hapu marae, philanthropy, growing our contacts, growing our networks, growing the available resource to support Ngā Toi Māori and Ngā Toi Māori practitioners, so that Creative New Zealand are not the only place that can support you as an artist. I know that some philanthropists or some other funders or even sponsors can work sort of reactively like that. But for us, we have to really work within our financial planning, our financial year planning, and it's really going to be really difficult to be reactive to every single request that comes in. I've got a project next week, I need to go, and that's it really that does happen. So all I can say for now is let's keep talking, but it's going to take a lot of planning from you, and having really have a look at our funding calendar and see if those dates and timings work out for you. CCS is another option. Creative Community Schemes run through your local council. They have a shorter time of notification from between application notification time. Sometimes it can be up to a couple of weeks. The money isn't as much, but it might be something to be able to support you in the meantime or the quicker result. But noted, thank you very much. It's a great question.
Here's another one. Firstly, thank you for your mahi and insight today. I'm interested in making time to talk to you about how we can best support our emerging Ngā Toi artists and the possibility of Indigenous exchange between Aotearoa and festival partners in Australia. Is this something that might work under the new strategy Definitely. So, if you would have had a look at, some of those goals like Toi Ora, and a good example, I guess, is what we have currently in place. So we, through the international team, we're organising this triptych between Australia and also our counterparts, Arts Council Canada and Arts Council Australia, in terms of the Indigenous component. And that kaupapa is about to start, as I said earlier. So that's a precedent, I guess, for your for your whakaaro or your partai that you put forward. So yes, definitely.
Yeah. And we currently have programs that support emerging artists as well. The Toi Ora Fund actually was created by Haneko back in 2017. It's been redeveloped since then. And so we have the mechanism to be able to support artists at the early stage of their career. That fund is up to 10K. Part of that is that you need to be able to work with a mentor to help you along your journey. And that's actually quite a successful fund. We only used to support or get maybe 3 applications in every round, and now we're getting close to 40, 50. And so there's lots of stuff happening for emerging artists, and not just from us as a funder, but some of the investment organizations as well are running programs to support new writers, new directors, new producers, new programmers within new curators. So there is a lot out there, and maybe it might be just a good note for us to do another comms push on those opportunities for emerging artists.
Another one, which I think is a really good one. Just note that this is a very short turnaround for response to the strategy. It doesn't offer organisations much time to give constructive feedback. Thank you for that, Pārtai. But also note that already we actually know quite a lot, and it's through the reports that we have already had, like even the Toi Ora reports that came back through our surveys that have been. So there's quite a lot that we actually know already, and this part here is really just touching base with you to see if there's something out of the box. So as Kirama said, this part here is just making sure that the moia and those goals and the priorities are solid. And then, of course, there's the implementation plan, which I think the team's already started working on, or about to start, well, have already started working on. And so, quite confident that we can actually have this out before the end of this year. And the role, as someone said, the plan is to have the implementation plan out by this year. Oh, sorry. There's a question here from. Sorry. Just touch base, Kidam, and this is that. I'll pass this over to you. I can devolve part-time.
Oh, yes. Where are we?
Part-time, Kitty, that you've put forward, and this is about working with, by, and for communities. It's not something new. We've done this in the past with several of our programs, and I guess one of them is the CCS, where we devolve quite a lot of the money to be managed by those local councils across the country to devolve back into the community. This might be the opportunity to relook at some of that stuff. And when it first started at Hikama, the councils were the right place because our iwi weren't actually set up. But now I think there are some iwi already in place who might be. So the conversations are ongoing about this kaupapa and what it might look like.
And open to suggestion and feedback on what that might look like for you as well in your community. We have been approached by different organisations who have really strong relationships within their community, who are really sit in a really great position to be able to serve or be able to distribute funding. We don't know what that looks like yet. We're still developing that with our communities. But if you have any other suggestions on who that might be, what that might look like, we're really open to that. We really hope that this is a collaboration or a co-design with you guys as the sector, as the arts organisations, as the knowledge holders of Ngā Toi Māori, Mātauranga Toi.
Kia ora Hikama, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for your pātai and your whakaaro, because it does matter, ne? And you're wondering, okay, so what's next? So as we look ahead, we'll be using the feedback from this consultation to help shape the final Toi Ora strategy 2025 to 2030. From the goals in the strategy, we'll develop clear outcomes, actions, and steps that will help lift the visibility and the value of Ngā Toi Māori and highlight how it strengthens the unique identity of Aotearoa. The priorities we set will guide our mahi over the next 5 years, keeping us focused and making sure we create real, lasting impact. We're aiming to launch the final strategy and its implementation plan later this year, once it's been approved by the Arts Council. It's an exciting stage, and we can't wait to share it all with you, e hikama. Nā reira, tēnā koutou katoa, I tēnei wā, kia whakakatihia tō tātou hui. Kia whakairihia ki te kōrero, ki ngā pakitara o te whare, hei tiki anō mō muri ake nei, kia wātea ai, kia tīna, haumi e, hui e,
Ai ki e.